What's up, people? Chris with Croft CNC and CNC for Newbies here, joining you on this bright, glorious morning. We just here in Miami, we just had a Cat 1 hurricane come through last night. Nothing major to speak of. Blew some stuff around, and other than that, that's about it. So it's funny to talk about that. We had a hurricane come through, but no issues. um, Having my morning whiskey and coffee. Got a little Tolomerdu with some Death Wish. Gotta have that. Um, but wanted to talk to you this morning about a a 3D carved issue that I was having, that I have workarounds for, but I talked to Bull over at the Make Group, um, and got something that made it a lot faster and worked out real well. And because of that, I wanted to share it with you guys, and I wanted to make sure he got some credit for it. Um, but uh, I was doing a huge 4 foot by 19.5 foot or 19.5 inch, uh, like wall mural, for like a mantelpiece kind of. Um, and I had real tall vertical walls on my 3D carve. And as we were carving it, we're couple 20s of hours into it. Um, I'm seeing a lot of ridges on the vertical walls, which I expected. The problem is there's so many pieces to this large design that normally what I would do is I would create boundary boxes and I would do individual carves. So I would do a roughing and a finishing carve for all the front faces and then all the lower faces, leaving out the vertical walls. Okay. Um, then I would go back and I would make the vertical walls their own 3D carves. And I would make sure to run a profile with a 3D carve around them, almost like using a long 1/8 inch ball nose around the edge to smooth the edge and taper it down into the 3D design. Okay. Well, that would have taken me hours, if not days, to do on this design. So I contacted a group of people, and Bull reached back out and he said, "Hey, try the Aspire Draft tool." And what that is you select your STL file. After you import it, you select your STL and you click on the draft tool. That draft tool will allow you to add a draft angle. All right. That draft angle will help you get rid of the ridges on the vertical walls by adding a little bit of a taper to the vertical wall, so that the tapered ball nose end mill doesn't rub right up against the wall. It actually tapers it out some. In my case, I went with a 10-degree taper, and that was enough to get all the ridges off of the obelisks um, sidewalls. So as it started to cut, it would actually taper that vertical wall out instead of being a straight down vertical wall and trying to touch the 3D design on the backing. It would actually taper out 10 degrees and then touch the 3D backing. That little design tool, I thought, only worked on the outside profile of an imported STL, not on every vertical wall. So, with that being said, that can be a game changer for people that want to do a lot of deeper carves. Um, the methods of 3D carving are so detailed and immense that there's so many different ways to do it that my way would have taken forever. And Bull's method, it gave me exactly what I needed, and it was quick and easy. You know, so the just realize as you guys start doing this that there's a bunch of different ways to do it. So just reach out to people and find out how they do it. And as you find out how they do it, you'll be able to actually develop your own method. And if you're developing your own method, that will allow you to um, that will allow you to figure out what operates fastest for you and your machine. You may be able to design very quickly, but the machine can't keep up in terms of, you have 15 designs to cut for the day, but your machine may only cut one of them because it cuts so slow. This way, you may be able to do more detailed pieces in design, and then the machine can cut just as fast, just as good. Um, so start trying out, reaching out to people, finding out what they do and how they do it, and then implement that in your workflow one or two times to see if it works for you. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. You tried something, you have a new tool in your tool bag of design and machine work that you can go to that one day you might need, you know, and you just go from there. So that's all I got for today. I just wanted to share that. I wanted to thank Bull for his time. Um, some people aren't very, Facebook user says some people aren't very sharing with their methods. You learn quickly who you can go to for help and not go to. Need to speed up my 3D cars. I don't know who the Facebook user is, but you are absolutely right. There are people that will tell you how they do such detailed designs. There are people who will not tell you how they do them. There are people that will tell you the tools that they use, where they get them from, how you can order them, and everything like that. And then there are people that are like, yeah, I can't tell you that information. You can buy the tool from me, or you could just send your customer to me and I'll carve it for them. And it's like, wait a second, I have a machine. I can do this. I just need some guidance. Uh, oh, what's up, Mike? How are you? Facebook user is Mike Graham, guys. Um, but it's one of those things that I find that's why I do these lives so much. Not everybody, but a lot of people think that I do these lives just because you know I want to be on Facebook or whatever. No, I do these lives because this is a journey for a lot of people, and I hit these speed bumps, and if I hit these speed bumps, I know you hit these speed bumps. Um, I really want to lift the people of the CNC community up and let them know, hey, you know, there are people here that you can ask for help. You know, there are people that you can ask for help and they just don't get back to you, and there are people you can ask for help that they try their best to get back to you, and go from there. Um, it's a community of people and personalities, and you have to navigate those people and those personalities just like you do in the real world. Um, we'll try and do the best that we can for everybody. Oh, we got some. Hope you're feeling better. You do a great job. Well, thank you very much. I am feeling better, but that's a side note. So these people with all the personalities coming together, there are certain personalities that interact well. There are certain personalities that don't. There are certain people who are teachers, and there are certain people who are doers. Um, there are certain doers who are teachers, and those are golden people because they can articulate the way that they do stuff so that other people can replicate their success. Um, then then there are people that cannot articulate what they do. They can just show you, look, this is how I do it, and you can parrot it, or you can like transfer the knowledge. Um, all of that works. People just have to take the time to figure out which method is being used and how to implement that in a workflow that works for them. You know, I'm very keen on audio visual, um, tactile kinesthetic type learning situations. Um, I don't do well with sitting there reading a step by step. I do much better with seeing or doing. Um, that's just how I learn. But I can do a step by step. It just takes me a couple times to do it to figure out what I did wrong. Okay, I followed all the steps. Oh, I need to make a note on this step to make sure that I remember to do this. And stuff like that, so that you guys you guys have a roadmap of where you're going and how you're going, to make everything happen. And once you do that, you'll be good to go. So don't be afraid to reach out. Like I said, the 3D reliefs, if you have tall vertical walls, something to try is um, that draft angle setup with the Aspire tool. It works out great. Um, and then go from there with the rest of your design work, and let's see what you come up with. For me, uh, this tooling setup, I have a couple custom tools that I I can't I can't give you the tool numbers, but I can tell you Sky One CNC is making some tapered ball nose, um, for 3D carves. I can tell you that X Edge tooling has some long reach tooling. Um, you can try some of those, and go from there and see if you're able to do some longer reach stuff. The carve that I'm doing right now is 2.5 inches deep. Um, so that's quite the carve. I'm doing it on the CNC for Newbies 4x8 closed loop ATC machine. That's my machine, the one that I built. Um, you know, we've got the closed loop controller coming out. Um, we've got all this stuff coming for you guys, so you'll be able to have one. And outside of that, that's the that's the pinnacle for me. That's what I love seeing, is all the machine parts, not necessarily the stuff that it's outputting, but the actual transition, um, from machine to machine or controller to controller and stuff like that. So with that being said, I'm gonna hop off here. I'm rambling. I gotta have my morning monster, and I'm going to get get my day started cleaning up the yard and working on the machine. So I'll holler at you guys. Peace.